Hey everyone, Tyson the Subaru Specialist from Subaru Prince George here, and today we're taking a look at the 24 Crosstrek Limited in the pure red. I would say this is probably the brightest color we have in the Crosstrek lineup, and this is the fully loaded Crosstrek. Every available factory bell and whistle is in this Crosstrek, and of course the 24s did get a redesign. 23 was the previous gen. This is the first year of the new generation. So updated exterior, interior, features, tech, everything's been updated. We do have gray fog light surrounds. Gray is kind of the exterior highlight color on the Limited, and we get these gray cutouts that you see on a lot of the Subarus now. Smaller, more aggressively styled headlights, and they are all LED steering responsive headlights. Even our base model convenience Crosstrek, steering responsive LEDs with high beam assist. We have that new hexagonal grille with the metallic gray wings leading off into those headlights. Give you a good look at that front. Definitely a little bit more angular than the previous gen Crosstrek, definitely a little bit more aggressive looking. The Limited gets the 2.5 liter 4-cylinder boxer engine. You get 182 horsepower, which is very, very peppy out of a vehicle of this size, and you don't sacrifice any economy versus the 2 liter in the 2 entry-level trims. Cladding extends from the front bumper up over the wheel arch. It kind of creates a fender flare, and you'll see it continues along the bottom there. And the plastic, I know lots of people may not like it, but it does have a practical application. It's in high wear areas. Plastic doesn't rust. That's why they've done it. We do also get 18-inch black painted wheels with a machined aluminum alloy face. Same wheels as the Onyx, just with a machined alloy face. We get functional vents. They help reduce air turbulence in the wheel well. You get better mileage. It's gonna help with brake cooling a little bit. We've got our gray painted mirror caps with integrated turn signals. People can, just another indicator for people to see that you are in fact changing lanes. Our roof rails on the Limited are also gray metallic painted, which is nice. They've kind of kept it all together. This is my favorite view of the Crosstrek. That rear 3/4 view. I think it's absolutely fantastic. I love what they've done with those new taillights. I like how they fully wrap around, and I think there's a good mix of black and red. Regardless of the exterior color of the vehicle, I think these taillights look absolutely fantastic. We have our fuel door on the rear passenger side. As usual, you press on it to open it, and the locking mechanism is tied to the key. If your driver door is locked, a pin shoots out. If I click unlock, the pin retracts. The pin locks and unlocks that. So when your driver door is locked, your fuel door is locked. Something to take into account. Rear bumper has functional vents. Again, kind of hard to see just because of the camera angle. Kind of a faux rear diffuser there, and reflectors built in. We do also get the backup sensors integrated into the rear bumper, and they will apply the brakes if it thinks you're gonna hit something at speeds of between 1 and 15 kilometers an hour in reverse. Terrifying when it works, but it's absolutely fantastic for parking lots. To open it, right between the 2 stars, there's a little rubber switch. Then we've got our camera, and we have our secret pin code access button. I've done a video on how to use that pin code. I'll include that in the video description. We've got way more room in the back of the Crosstrek than people expect there to be. There's a ton of room, very tall, wide, and deep. We've got a nice privacy cover, hides everything from the top of the seats down, keeps things out of sight, out of mind. We also have a halogen cargo light there. 3rd seat belt, you pull out of here, goes through here, and then it locks in 2 places. You've got 2 special clips. You've got a special clip and a regular buckle. Everyone gets a 3-point harness. Safety first, of course. We've got hard mount physical tie downs in the front 2 corners. And then we have these hooks in the back. The top ones are grocery bag hooks. The bottom ones are hooks that you can tie the cargo net accessory into with those upper ones. And we have bottle holders / cup holders for tailgating. Yes, that's an official reason for having them. It was told to us at Subaru training. Underneath the false floor, spare tire, tools, recovery eye bolt. Everything is there. Not that I hope any of you ever need to use it. You also have this nice little mountain motif along the back. Subaru's added some nice little details, little Crosstrek Easter egg in there. I mean, even on the upper roof, and I don't know if the camera's gonna focus on it, but it does say Subaru there. Easy close hatch. Doesn't take a lot of effort. Give you that rear 3/4 view again. I think it's absolutely fantastic. They're a blast to drive. It's like driving a street legal go-kart. Second row, guess it would help if I actually unlocked it. So on the Subaru key fob, Subaru logos unlock once, twice. Twice does everything. And there is a ton of room, good headroom, good legroom in the second row. Taller passengers will fit without issue. Of course, being the Limited, you get the light and dark gray leather upholstery, and you get orange contrast stitching and orange even in the perforations. And that is the interior highlight color, as opposed to the gray on the exterior. As you can see, there's a fold down armrest with integrated cup holders. That flips up if you have to have a third passenger back here. We have center console mounted USBs, A and C, and we get a map back pocket on the rear of the front passenger seat. This is textured and is designed to be used as a step if you're loading something on the crossbars. Subaru's done that because they don't want you standing on the tire, because one, the tire sits inside the fender, and two, if I go straight up, I'm right here. The center of my body's here, so I'd be leaning to put anything in there. So it's a little bit of a safety portion as well. We have this little gray slot. That's what this extra side impact crash safety bar, that silver piece, locks into, and is designed to reduce the chance of intrusion into the passenger cab in the event of a side collision. Rear door card, hard touch plastics with a soft touch armrest, and of course orange stitching. Our power window switch, and then we have a little bit of storage with a bottle holder if you need it. Child locks. Now it's important to note these child locks are separate. You have to do them independently if you're going to use them. Or you can just have one side. Totally your choice. Depends who's in there. We have a proximity key. So to lock the Crosstrek, we've got these lines. So long as the key's within 46 inches, simply touch and it locks it. Wait a second. Again, you've got your hand, the key in your pocket or your purse, your bag, your backpack, hand on, and it unlocks. Front door card looks very similar to that of the rear, but of course, the front door card itself is leather as well. Soft touch, it's nice. Front two power windows are auto power windows, regular power windows for the rear. We have window lock, your power mirror adjustment. We do get a little bit more storage in addition to the bottle holder up front. And then we get the Harman Kardon audio system in the Limited. So great audio system, 10 combination speaker system. And the front seat is of course power including lumbar. Lumbar is a first in the 24 Crosstreks, and it's leather. Same seating material up front as it is in the second row. You've got great headroom, great legroom. You've got great headroom even with the tilt and slide sunroof. These seats are specifically designed for long distance travel. They're very supportive. You're less fatigued at the end of a long day of driving in one of these Crosstreks with these seats. On the inside, being that we have a proximity key, it's push button start. Keys in the vehicle, foot on the brake, light goes green, green means go. Foot's not on the brake, light's not green. We do have blind spot detection indicators on your side mirrors. They illuminate orange, one when you turn on the car, but two whenever someone's in your blind spot on the corresponding side. And I'll just do that again for you guys in case you didn't catch it there, but it illuminates orange when someone's in your blind spot or going to be in your blind spot on the corresponding side. So I've just turned it off, turn it on. It's a little hard to see right now when the sun's directly on it, but it is a nice indicator, which is handy. Steering wheel itself, new style steering wheel you find in pretty much all the Subarus. They've changed the buttons around a little bit. Still leather wrapped, orange contrast stitching. We do have heated steering wheel. It does not heat between the seam at the top, just so you're aware, just where you're supposed to keep your hands, but it does get nice and toasty. We've got SI drive, so intelligent and sport. It defaults to intelligent for everyday driving. Sport, you can do on the fly. You're gonna go faster sooner. We've got adaptive cruise control and lane centering. Both of those buttons use these three black boxes, those color stereo EyeSight cameras, and they're looking for vehicles, cyclists, pedestrians, road lines, and it's responsible for automatic emergency braking, pre-collision throttle management. All of that safety stuff is from those cameras. This third camera is a new addition to the Crosstrek this year, and that really increases the field of vision from left to right for it. And actually, speaking of field of vision, the visibility in a Crosstrek is very, very good. I don't think that the blind spots, the few that there are excessive in size. When I turn on adaptive cruise, you can see there's an image of the Crosstrek there. There's 4 bars ahead of it all the way down to 1. The bars are the follow distance behind the vehicle ahead of you that you'll follow at if you catch up while using cruise control. If I want to follow closer, I just press the down arrow and it decreases the bars. 4 bars at 150 kilometers an hour. Sorry, 100 kilometers an hour, not 150. 100 kilometers an hour is 150 to 180 feet follow distance behind the vehicle ahead of you. Follow closer, you can do that. The person ahead of you slows down, you'll slow down. Lane centering, when I turn it on, You get the image of the steering wheel in the hands there. Above 60 kilometers an hour, if the cameras can see the road lines, it illuminates whichever side it can see white, just like those distance markers. And at that point, it'll actually give you gentle steering input to help keep you centered in your lane. Great. It's fantastic for long distance driving. So long as the road lines are visible, you're way less fatigued. It just helps keep you centered. Easy to overpower. It's not going to rip the wheel out of your hand if you're dodging a moose or something and force you back in the lane. We have our audio controls and Bluetooth controls on the left-hand side. We've got our volume. We have the ability to accept phone calls, hang up or decline, issue voice commands or access Google Assistant or Siri, switch from AM to FM to satellite to USB, etc. Switch between presets. This toggle used to be volume on the previous ones, but that now changes our small upper display. Gives us a different piece of info depending what you want to look at. Dealer choice. Now this steering wheel does have paddle shifters, downshift and upshift if you want to manually select your own gears, and we have both tilt and telescopic adjustability. So you can adjust it for drivers of varying height, arm, and leg lengths, which is fantastic. Some people don't like driving with their arms straight out when they sit far back, so it's perfect for that. We have an 11.6-inch infotainment system here. Top portion, there's a little red light there. That is the driver focus system. It is trying to scan my face in because I'm not registered, but it will tell you if you're not paying attention to the road or if you're drowsy. It can be turned off if you don't like it. It can be a little over the top. Still has the plastic on it. Oh, there we go. Top portion of the screen, we have what we're listening to. We've got navigation destination. So if I set somewhere in the nav and I go to the radio screen, it'll tell me turn right 200 meters Queensway or whatever. Widgets, gauges, which you can of course change around. If you've watched any of my other videos, you know I set them to the same ones all the time because most people like that. We've got weather as part of your satellite radio trial, and then we have access to dual function X mode, which is like for low in a pickup. It's for really extreme rough stuff, under 40 kilometers an hour sort of deal. Most people aren't ever going to need to use it, which is nice. Main portion of the screen. On either side, we have physical volume and tuning knobs. When we go to map, it's powered by TomTom. No subscription, you've got it for the life of the vehicle. You can go full screen if you want. Very, very easy to use. Home button, this button here always takes us home. Radio, media, and phone are pretty self-explanatory. Media is anything that isn't integrated into the vehicle. Bluetooth, USB auxiliary. Phone allows you to hook up your phone to Bluetooth. Radio is AM, FM, and Sirius XM. Under apps, we have wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, and we do gain access to the My Subaru app after the vehicle's registered in your name. Settings, there's a bunch of settings you can play with. Car info will take you to driving statistics. You can set maintenance reminders. There is a second screen. You can turn off the display. You can turn on valet mode. Auto vehicle hold is a brake holder for construction drive-through rush hour traffic. We've got traction control, which we can turn off, which also pops up there. And we can add additional shortcuts, additional tiles, if there is an area in the settings that you go to all the time. Below that, home button, we have the ability to turn off the auto start stop. You can turn on auto vehicle hold. If we press the little vehicle, it gives us more settings that we can play with. You can turn off things. You can change the driving assistance. You don't like the driver monitoring system on, turn it off. You can also change the digital speedometer to miles per hour and the fuel economy to miles per gallon if you're traveling into the US. The ability to hook up additional phones. You can have 5 connected in total. We've got driver profiles, and then we have our climate controls. Now we do have physical buttons on either side, and it controls the temperature up or down in 0.5 degree increments, or click the temperature, and you can click, you can drag, you can sync it back to just driver controlled, control where you want your airflow. Really easy to use. Big fan strength buttons so you don't mess that up. You can have the airflow just focused on the front, or you can have it focused on the entire cab. So if you don't have a whole bunch of passengers or stuff that needs to stay cold in the back or warm in the back, turn it off, just have it focus the front. When I put it in reverse, backup camera pops up, rear assist braking's on, parking sensors are on. If I wanted to turn them off for any reason, I just simply press and let go. They're grayed out. Same thing to turn it back on. And I can clean the backup camera from inside the vehicle. I just twist and hold this end of the wiper stalk towards myself. Best thing ever for our winters here. Below that, we have our 2 USBs and our auxiliary. And we have a 10-watt wireless phone charger if your phone is compatible with that. Works really, really well. It's a quick charger, 10 watt. Your phone's gonna get a little warm, that's normal. They've changed the center console versus the previous generation. It is still an automatic CVT with the manual mode. I do really like this synthetic shifter boot and this orange contrast stitching. I think it looks fantastic together. They've decided to go with physical heated seat switches in the Crosstrek. If you leave these on and you remote start it from the My Subaru app, they will turn on. Park brake, you pull up to activate. Foot has to be on the brake and push down to deactivate, otherwise it doesn't go off. We have our offset cup holders with drink raisers. So if you have a tall drink, you take that out, it's a little bit more secure. You have a short drink, you make sure this is in there, and that way you're not just grabbing the lid to lift it out and spill it. And if you have, you know, just the right drink, you don't need it. There's you kind of get 3 options. It's nice, or 2 options really. 12-volt power point. We've got a little storage cubby, and then we have a soft touch armrest. There's a decent amount of storage in there. No power points in there, which I wish they did have a 12 volt in there, but we do have a place to run cords through if, you know, you put a power bank or something in there. Up top, we've got SOS and roadside assistance buttons. That's part of your 3-year trial to the My Subaru connected services you get with most new Subarus. We've got our sunroof controls, our tilt and slide. We've got our map lights. We've got a sunglass storage holder. You're supposed to put the arms of your sunglasses through there. And then we have vanity mirror with lights, and these can be moved to the side and extended if you're getting blinded directly from the left or your passenger's getting blinded directly from the right. It is a manual shade, regular size sunroof, but easy to use the controls. So that is a quick look at the 2024 Subaru Crosstrek Limited in the pure red, the full load Crosstrek. 8.7 inches of minimum ground clearance, Subaru's full-time legendary symmetrical all-wheel drive. That 2.5 liter engine, very, very peppy. It's like driving a street legal go-kart. Easily one of my favorite daily driving vehicles that I've ever owned was a Crosstrek. Huge fan of these. They're popular with Subaru owners for a reason. You should come check one out if you have the chance. So thank you for watching my quick walkthrough of the 24 Crosstrek Limited in pure red behind me here. I'm Tyson, the Subaru specialist from Subaru Prince George. If you guys have any questions about this car behind me, any of the tech in it, something you saw that I didn't elaborate enough on, put it in the comments below. Love hearing from you guys. If you're in British Columbia or willing to travel to British Columbia to buy a car, please reach out to me directly. I would love to help you find your perfect Subaru. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll talk soon.